But Eugene, looking at the data from 92 till date, what does it say? How does the pattern look like?
Well, Dave, analysis of a voter turnout is one of the metrics to look at the vitality of a democracy. Is to look at how well people are enthused or want to participate in the democracy, because you know the democracy we practice as a participatory democracy of a sort. So 1992, for example, the voter turnout was 50.16%, and this I'm using EC data. And Dave, you can know that because of 1992, the whole thing about, acrimonial, the junta and all that. So yeah, from 1992, it shot up to 78.20%. Then 2000, that is the runoff. It was 61.75%. 74%. Yes, 74%. Then 2004 is the highest we've ever recorded in our history, for Republican history. It's 85.12%. Then 2008, the runoff. In fact, they are contradictory numbers. So what do you have there?
Well, for 2008, I have 71% before me.
Other sources also put at 76, right? Yes. So let's average it. Let's pick the 71. Let's say 71%. Yeah. Then 2012, we had it shot up to 79.43%. Then in 2016, it's 69.25%. Then 2020, 78.89%. So that's how it's looking. Now, Dave, there's a trend in there. When you look at the trend, you can see that in the second term of the government, their voter turnout or the vitality or the test with which people go to vote is higher. But anytime they want to seek the third term to break the 8 of a sort, the voter turnout reduces. It tells you that. So
break it down for our listeners as well. So, for example, if you look at the 92-96, we had 50.16 for 92, 78.20 for 96, but it dipped in 2000 to 61.74. Then in 2004, it picked up again to 85.12. Then 2008, 71%, but it dipped. And that is in 2008. But when you look at 2012, it went up again. And then 2016, 69%, 69.25%. Then 2020, 78.89%. So it went up again. So 2016 again, because NDC was at the time looking for a second bid, like you were putting it to break the 8. Again, it dipped. I don't know why it is so that.
So Dave, the explanation is that after 8 years of a government, there's fatigue. There's disaffection. There are people who believe the dividend of the democracy that they were hoping.
The disappointment.
Yeah, the disappointment and all that. So what this tells a political party strategist listening to us is that if you are not able to whip up your base, the NDC says they lost 2016 because voter region didn't vote. The MPP says they lost 2008 because Ashanti region didn't vote. It tells you that if you are not able to whip up your base, if you are not able to let your base see reason why they should vote for you, you will lose the election. And also tells you that the instances where we've had that, there was a change of government. Twice it went to a runoff. That is why I've maintained that as we speak, and based on the numbers I follow, this election will go to a runoff. The 2000, there was a reduction in the voter turnout. It went into a runoff. And in our history, anytime there's a runoff, the opposition wins. 2000 MPP, 2008 the NDC. Now, Dave, even in the data, look at something. The data also tells you that our governments mostly have a strong first-term regime. Pick the mills regime. 36 months single-digit inflation, single-span oil economy. For me, between 2012 and 2011 was Ghana's best economy we've recorded, in the Fourth Republican dispensation. People have forgotten that the Kufuor also recorded single-digit inflation for close to 2 years when he came in 2016, from 15.6% in December 2016. So it tells you that most of our governments in the Fourth Republican dispensation have a strong start, but they end abysmally. Because if not for anything, let me give you the years. 2004, right? Kufuor, or the voter turnout, 85.12%. 2012, 79.43%. 2020, 78.89%. And all these three are the highest if you rank them.
Yeah.
So it tells you that breaking the 8 or a government seeking to have 12 years continuous has a certain direct link with the voter turnout. And the voter turnout also have a certain linkage with how well the government has performed in that 8 years.
Those performances of the government, can we rope in the IMF? Because you know that the NDC took Ghana to an IMF. And when they lost the election in 2016, 2017, when Nana was, when you took over, let me put it that way, but our figures looked good because at that time we had just come out of an IMF program. Could that be a factor in there as well?
Of course, the economy Kufuor inherited was IMF. We went into a nosedive when the IMF went out and we did the Kenke Party in 2019. It's not when you look at, you see, when most of the people say it's COVID, but pre-COVID, look at 2019. That's last quarter of 2019. Our economy started taking a nosedive from there. That was when the IMF was gone. And Dave, it is simple. When you look at our history from May 1966, and Nkrumah was overthrown in February 1966. By 3 months, you had the IMF. The first time we went to IMF, we've gone the 17th time. Look at the data. Anytime Ghana goes to the IMF, our economic indices look good. Why? Because the IMF policies you. You cannot do what you have to do.
Yeah.
For example, why is the 1D, 1F taking a hit? Because the IMF told that the 17 flagship programs, it doesn't make sense. Let's review them. Google Kojo Ponkoma flagship programs, IMF, it will come up. But we told them here, they said we are professional Jeremiahs. But the IMF will force you, because that's why I say that he who pays the piper calls the tune. So he is giving you 3 billion. So he will tell you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Remember under the NDC and John Mahama, there was a freeze on employment, public sector employment and all that. Without wasting much time, let me engage with...
big rights or something like that. That's not total convincing. For me, this will not convince you to do it.
By the way, Ken, tell me, will you vote come December 7th?
I'm not sure.
Why? What is preventing you not to decide now?
Come again.
What is holding you back from deciding now? Why haven't you made up your mind?
Because these people will come and then give you all this promise, and then at the end of the day, they deceive you. And you know what comes at the back of the deceiving? It shows that as if you are senseless. You don't have sense. You follow them. You go there, stand in this stand, vote for them. Then they show you who they truly are.
If you don't go and vote, Ken, and somebody who takes money from a politician goes to vote, not voting on his or her conscience, that person's vote will bring the person who will be in office, and you might not like that person. Yeah. Would that satisfy you?
David, you know, the question is what brought about that? If this person wouldn't have taken money, if those promises were meant or were made for him. So this person is kind of convinced that as far as you want power, and when I give you power, you will not mind me again. So I will also do something on my own benefit. So when you bring me 100 cities, I will take it. But the advice that I have for those people is, look, at the end of the day, you have insulted yourself more than they insulting you. So, David, the truth is, I am not totally convinced, unless, of course, these people.
That is why you